Bobby Slowick, he spoke today. He said some interesting things. Did Bobby, did he tell a fib?
Damn it, Bobby.
It is SNL, Landry Locker, Cody Stoots with you. We just got back from practice. They're kind of late, so we're getting started just a little bit late as well. But we're here live on SNL. Subscribe to the new channel. We're pushing 2K, and it's going strong. And the podcast numbers have been through the roof on Spotify, Apple, anywhere you get your podcast. But Bobby Slowick, I asked him about the bye week. They keep talking about figuring out who they are. So I just asked Bobby Slowick during the bye week, how did you benefit from it? What was beneficial about it? Here's what Bobby Slowick had to say.
Started as some other stuff with some opponents, but really what it became was a deep dive into us and honing in on what we're good at and what we need to continue to do every week, which I think we had a lot of confidence built over the bye week and leading into this last week in what we wanted to do and how we wanted to attack. And I mean, the plays were out there for us and we didn't quite make them. A lot of the times as we were trying to stay on the field. And I don't know what that is. Was it rust? Was it, I'm not sure, but I know if we continue to do that, like these are things we've proven that we've done really well. And we're all really confident, like if we keep getting ops, we're going to make those plays and at the end of the day make more than we miss. So that really is what the bye week was for us. It was, hey, what do we do really well? How do we hone in on this and just continue to execute those things?
All right, yeah, and you heard him say what we do really well. And I'm not Cody and Will Conkle. I ask him what they actually did well after he says that. I don't sit on the sidelines and let him say we're going to lean on our strengths. I actually asked him what they do well. Defend yourself, Cody.
How am I involved in this at all? I mean, I started the whole conversation about the offensive line.
I'm just messing with you.
You want to dunk on Conkle? Go for it. He's the one who's just trying to get some emotion out of him. He doesn't care what the answer is.
Yeah, but they keep talking about leaning on their strengths and what we do well, and they really haven't been specific on it.
Well, what he's talking about, though, for it to be showing up as a conversation point in Week 16 tells you that they're lost. That they're lost on offense. Like, yeah, well, eventually these things that we do that we don't do well, we're going to do them right. Week 16, man. Week 16.
Yep. Yes, it is. And
that's a Week 6 conversation, not Week 16.
But as soon as he said that, I just asked him, I said, well, what do y'all do well, sir? And then he said this, and not so sure he was telling the truth. Listen to him describe what this offense does well. Most of you watch every snap. Tell me if this is an accurate description, and it might not even be factual. Take it away, Bobby.
All the secrets, but I would say explosives would be the number one thing, if you keep it fairly generic. Our quarterback's really good at throwing explosives. We got really good skills. We got a really good running back. We got a great tight end. We got guys that, can stretch the field if they need to and also can catch the ball underneath and run for it. So I think, like, if you take out last week, which I don't know if we had an explosive, maybe we had one, and yet we still are ranked like 6th in the NFL going into last week. We were somewhere in the top 3, and we've been there pretty much the entirety of the last year and a half, so that would probably be the number one thing that jumps out is, at any time, if we get what we want, that the players can just make explosive, fun plays happen.
Damn it, Bobby.
All right. Take it away.
Does any of that sound true based on when you watch the team?
I think they got a really good running back.
Nico's really good. He's a skill position player that is really good for them.
Mm-hmm.
Does anything else he said sound true?
Not really.
Like, it's a shame Maury's not on the air anymore because I would have loved for him to open the little thing and say the lie detector determined that was a lie. The lie detector determined that was a great tight end. I've probably defended Dalton Schultz more than I should have. Great tight end. I mean, come on.
So I guess there's some numbers though. Based on what he said.
The words don't match the look. And when he mentioned those numbers, I went to the only guy that could find the data in the time that I gave him to find it, that could find it for me. And that was Texans Cap.
Shout out to Texans Cap.
If you don't follow him on Twitter, you're missing out. He's got the Substack where he does a lot of data and contract stuff. But I said, hey, Cap, explosive plays. An explosive play, for anybody wondering, is a rush for 10 yards or greater and a pass for 15 yards or greater. I said, where do they rank? Bobby says they're top 6, top 5, top 3. Where do they rank for explosive plays? You ready for this, Landry? This is courtesy of Texans Caps research. They're 21st in rushing explosive plays.
Damn it, Bobby.
They're 10th in passing explosive plays.
Damn it, Bobby.
They are 12th overall in explosive plays.
Damn it, Bobby.
I mean, he just went up there and lied. Or he didn't know the numbers. And it's not like, oh, I looked at them wrong, because it's not like they're awesome at one and bad at another. No, they're bottom third of the league in rushing. They're right on the edge of the top third in passing, and they're smack dab right there in the middle overall. Like, Bobby lied. Bobby lied. Offense died.
On the super chats, and we'll get back to this in a second. A1, Swarm in the super chat.
You ain't never hate.
Swarm.
Tyreek asking for a trade after loss. Good for him. He's no one I want around right now, and he might not even be what he once was. Still a good player, but yeah, that's kind of a headache. Texan in Virginia, what do you want to see on the offensive side of the ball in the offseason? I want skill position talent, offensive weaponry. That was one of my things last year. Offensive weaponry. This team needs offensive weaponry. That's what I want.
I want some explosive players so they can actually be as explosive as the offensive coordinator thinks they are.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't believe him when he said it. Like, it didn't sound correct when Bobby Slowick was saying it. But then when Texans Cap ran the numbers, and it's like, you're not even close to what you said. We got offensive catfished.
Well, it is what it is with the offense. I think it's almost it's kind of a front.
I will say, if they don't get explosive plays, like, they have not showcased or demonstrated the ability to put together 10, 12, 14 play drives, and they have so many different negative plays that pop up in the middle of their offense that they almost are dependent on an explosive play. And maybe that's kind of what he's saying, is like, when we hit an explosive play, we're ready to roll, like, we're ready to go. And that's maybe kind of the thought process that he was going down. It's like, hey, when we get an explosive play, we actually, the train's moving, we don't make a lot of mistakes, and we're able to move the football, get into scoring range for field goal or sometimes a touchdown. But as far as, like, actually executing on a pretty consistent basis explosive plays, they have not been able to do that as an offense. And I'd be interested to know how it looked early on in the season when the offense was kind of like, herky-jerky, but you still had Nico making some big plays. Diggs could catch the ball and run with it. And then Mixon, prior to the Bears injury, he had some impressive runs. But that middle portion of the season and the recent weeks, explosive's not what they are. Like, they benefit when they have an explosive play, but they're not explosive.
But my whole thing, like, with this, and the only reason we're talking about this is because I think the defense is good enough to give the offense opportunities without being elite. So that's why we talk about the offense so much. It's not a helpless, like, you don't have Brock Osweiler and Brian Hoyer offense. But for me, it, like, when I hear about the strengths of your offense, like, even the explosives, like, there have been times where I've seen Nico make a play and it's a result of CJ Stroud doing things in the
scramble
out of off script is what they say. It's not like it's like these explosives are just, damn, Bobby was really in his bag and they had an explosive. Or I'm seeing Joe Mixon bust off a run and break multiple tackles in doing it. So even if you're talking about the explosives, and I would say that a large chunk of these explosives that are spoken of are as a result of Nico Collins and Joe Mixon, I don't look at it as within the offense. You know what I mean? Like, I don't look at it as, I mean, it's very player dependent. So that's what's kind of
there's a few
Not
calls
explosive.
like the Nico Collins touchdown against Buffalo. Like that's a called play that they executed to perfection. Some of Joe's runs, they set it up. A lot of it is him just kind of taking it outside, making it happen from that standpoint. Like there is a lot of off script nature to some of their success, which is that's sometimes how they have to operate because the offensive line has been pretty bad at times this year, but it's tough to take credit for the offense being explosive when you can't call an explosive play. Like it has to happen for them, which is kind of a strange part of the world to be in when you're operating as an offense.
This is a question we get often. Should we look at OBJ for the playoff run? I think so. Cody thinks not. I think so. I think he could help the back end of the wide receiver depth. Cody says no. He knows the system as well, but Cody says no.
He's washed.
What is Mechie and Xavier Hutchinson and Robert Woods? What are they?
I mean, like I don't physically believe in Odell Beckham anymore. At least they can run around.
Blaster Lord, if this adjusted O-line plays a bit more consistent, do you think the plays start getting a bit better, or is it too far gone at this point? It's not too far gone. Like it's not a lost cause. They can make situational plays like they did the other day, and I think the defense is going to give them opportunities. So this isn't a lost cause situation. This was just an opportunity for Bobby Slowick to tell me what they're good at. That's it. I just want to know what they're good at. Like they keep saying they want to lean on their strengths. They keep saying that what they're good at. I just wanted to know, and I didn't really get the answer that maybe I was looking for. Which is fine. I don't think it's a lost cause. I actually think this is the best version of the offensive line that we've seen with the most upside. I like this version of the offensive line. I hope they keep it going. They did activate Kenyon Green, which is funny. But I would keep this as is, this offensive line.
Yeah, I would, and if it does play better, it does give them a better chance from a passing standpoint. They've got to get much better from a run game standpoint because they couldn't push the pile last week, but let's see what they do against Kansas City, and let's see if they can get something going against Kansas City, a tougher opponent than the one that they played. But they've got to be able to set Joe Mixon up better than they did against Miami. But you can see where the pass blocking is going to end up working in this.
And that's where they need to lean. Where they need to lean. They need to lean on pass blocking. Like if one of the offensive line units is better at pass blocking, then you got to put that offensive line out there because I think Joe Mixon can overcome bad-ish run blocking or inconsistent run blocking.
Yeah, I would. I mean, he's done it most of the year.
Birdie boy on the soup. Best case scenario for the offense would be that CJ is a playoff player and has 4 Georgia games. I mean,
if he has 4 Georgia games, figure out the parade route.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and he did flip the switch there. So yeah, you need CJ to flip the switch, which I wouldn't completely dismiss. A1 again, shout out to you. If we see more drops, would Cody then look at OBJ? Nah, he's stuck in his ways. Cody, honestly, I've noticed he's kind of like the Texans staff where
here goes just a total lie on my name here.
Just listen to him about defense, offense, he'll justify like the Dalton Schultz situation. Just listen to Cody about defense, not offense. Let's let the guru stick to the offense. Let's hear from Titus Howard. You got something to say there, sir?
No, I'm not. I just know that you're lying on me. You're lying on my name.
Let's hear from Titus Howard. He is a guard. 2 years ago today, his best game is guard against Chris Jones. He had a hell of a ball game in that one. Texans lost on the last play of the game. Let's hear what Titus Howard has to say about being back at guard.
Were 2 years ago today.
You talking about playing Chiefs?
Yeah,
I was at guard.
You were at guard.
Yeah.
Look at that smile.
Chris Jones. It was one of
he knows.
one of your better games at guard, I would say. What do you remember about playing guard then versus now?
Got to lock him down. Same thing. Good player. So I just got to go out there and do what I can do. I'm confident in what I can do, so go out there and have a good game, help us win the game.
How was it to go back to guard? Because it was kind of a popular talking point before. D'Amico's brought it up. Bobby brought it up today. What was it like when the idea was first thrown out there, and what made you open to it?
Just trying to do what I can do so we can win. Got a couple guys down now. Got guys down. We had Blake who can come in and tackle, so I was open to moving, so to help the team, so we can get some more wins, clinch the division. Just got trying to do what I can do to help win. I feel like last week was pretty solid. I'm not gonna lie. Pretty good game. A couple plays, here and there, just got to get back used to being inside. But I feel like it was a good game, so you're trying to build off of it.
You're enjoying it a little bit more?
I'm a tackle. I like playing tackle, but if I can play guard and help us win, I'm gonna do that. We all got a goal is winning a Super Bowl and going deep in the playoffs. So that's what I'm trying to do. And if being a guard right now is that's the way for us to do that, I'm gonna have to do that.
Titus lining up next to Laramie Tunsil, reforming that tandem that you guys had to go through. How fun is that to play next to LT again?
Oh yeah, it's good playing against LT beside LT, man, because LT played to a high standard, make you want to continue to play better. He's smart, so he's gonna know where to go to. So I don't have to do no talking to him, stuff like that. But LT just a good player, man. He's fun. Me and him been here same amount of time, so it's always fun playing beside him. So, I enjoyed it. We play good when we side each other, so looking forward to it.
You expect this besides Chris Jones, everybody talks about, but momentum will fall off this.
Yeah, all those guys are good players. Charles is one of the best pass rushers in the league, especially when he's in the interior. You got Karlaftis, he's a pretty good player. 51 Downer, he's been there for a long time. He's a guy that plays well in that system. So they got guys that do what they're coached to do, and that's the biggest thing about their defense, that they always going to be where they're supposed to be. So it's a good defense.
You expect the situation at guard to kind of be a temporary thing, or just until they don't need you at guard anymore?
Yeah, we just working week by week, seeing how it goes. We got guys down right now. So I guess we just take it on a week-to-week basis, and we'll just see how it goes.
What's been the biggest improvement?
All right. First of all, let me say this. I'm the biggest Charles Omenihu fan there is. I was one of the biggest. Nobody talks about Charles Omenihu heading into the Chiefs game. Like, hey, might as well just say, hey, David Mulligetta, what up, Charles? Hey, look at this. I love Charles. But nobody does that, Aaron. Good Lord. Don't telegraph it too much. Anyways, the guard thing, the Titus Howard guard thing. What is your assessment? Come on. What is your assessment, though, of, I guarantee that clip's up tagging David Mulligetta. I promise you. I haven't even been on Twitter. Promise you that clip is up with tagging David Mulligetta and maybe even the agency. Guaranteed. Anyways, what is your assessment of the way that Titus Howard is speaking about playing guard? Because there was a time where he had it in his Twitter bio. He's deleted his Twitter since. What is your take on that?
He does not seem like it is. He does not seem like he is totally against the idea, and he does not seem disgusted by the chance that he is at guard for a good long while. And I feel like he could have been, and might have even been, a little bit more. Maybe flippant's not the right word, but I feel like you would have caught some more negativity from him if he was wholly, totally against the idea, pissed off by it, didn't want to do it, that kind of stuff. Like, I feel like you would have got that vibe from him. It felt to me like not only did he say it, it felt like he believed him being at guard right now gave them the best chance to win, gave them the best chance to do what they wanted to do. Like, I got the vibe that he believes he can do it at left guard. He can get it done. Maybe he doesn't want to stay there, but he's open to the idea of sticking around there until they don't need him at left guard, which they might need him at left guard for a good long while.
I think he should stay at guard. I think Blake Fisher should stay at tackle. And I think Blake Fisher should start at tackle regardless of what happens. He's a long-term guy. He needs to go out there. He's going to improve. I think he's going to end up being a better tackle. Now, what are you about to say?
Well, I'm writing about this for Houston football. Is if Titus Howard turns out to be the solution at left guard,
that's cool.
Then you solve two, like you fix the 2024 line, and you actually answer 2 questions about the 2025 line, which is who's going to be the left guard and how do I get Blake Fisher on the field? And Howard at left guard would be, he's the left guard, and then I get Fisher on the field because Titus Howard moved over, and then you can swap out Shaq Mason and try to get better as an offensive line.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I would think that would be that would be a good option, and even if he's willing to, it improves your versatility. It might not be like the ideal return on investment, but it improves your versatility. I think Titus Howard, the smartest thing he did this year was delete social media, because I think Titus Howard's always been a team guy, man. But on social media, for whatever reason, I think sometimes he was getting lost in the sauce, and a lot of times we saw him offering up too much. And I think he bought into the online narrative where, you know, he shouldn't be moving around and tackle and guard. And I think he probably was a little bit too involved. You don't delete social media if you're just keeping it moving. And we've seen him get in the back and forth. So I think Titus Howard is actually really, really a team guy. I just think he kind of got lost in the sauce. And let's also be honest, like, say what you want, but being moved from tackle to guard, it's kind of humbling. It's probably going to humble you a little bit. So I just think he kind of got lost in the sauce, and I think it's a good thing that he deleted social media.
But
unless he has a burner.
Prior to getting paid, I totally understand why he would be pissed about playing guard, though.
Yeah, because tackles make more money.
They don't get paid as much. Even right tackles make a tremendous amount of money. I mean, he's 6th in right tackles, average annual value. At the tackle spot overall, he's 15th in average annual value. And then when you sort it by guards, he'd be one of the 5-6 most highest paid guards in football. Yeah. So, like, you know, tackles make a lot more money. So I understood that. I'd never understood that he would be like furious about this when he's already been paid. Now, if and again, he's spoken very complimentary of Blake Fisher, and he seems to think Blake Fisher is going to be a long-term solution for this team. Is there a chance he didn't think playing guard last year made sense because he thought he was better than George Fant? Maybe. Was he? I don't know. Probably not. But I got his, you know, unwillingness prior to this year. I don't see why there'd be any unwillingness this year, though.
Yeah, Dietology on the soup. Shout out to Dietology. Getting that pump in. My guy right there. It might be listening on the Bluetooth on the podcast form. Might be on the YouTube. Who knows? Shout out to him.
Is Texans talk good workout music? Does it make you work out harder, or does it motivate you less? I don't know.
Just depends what kind of bars we're spitting. If this team were to dominate the Chiefs on both sides, how would you view this team going forward? I think they got a chance to compete with the Chiefs. Like, I really, really do. Now, do I think that, like, but even if they didn't have Mahomes, I think they also have a chance to lose to the Chiefs. But the Chiefs are a team that teams hang around with. Like, this is not the Chiefs that are just going to blow you out of the water. Now, I will say this, and I do think there's an element that I'm going to get into a little bit later today. They do have some speed now, and one of the guys they signed this offseason is going to get implemented into the offense, Hollywood Browns. So we don't know whether we'll see Hollywood and Xavier Worthy out there. I got to think Andy Reid would probably have some fun with that type of speed. But I don't anticipate that. And I think the Texans defense can battle with the Chiefs offense. There's no doubt in my mind that the Texans defense can go toe to toe with this offense. Can the offense hold up? Can they not make the uncharacteristic mistakes that teams seem to make when they face them? And can they contain the D line? That's another question, but this is not a game that you go into saying, man, the Texans are going to get the brakes tapped off of them. I don't anticipate that. I anticipate this being a very competitive football game.
I do too. And we'll see what the Texans have on offense, but it's not going to be easy for the Chiefs to move the football against this Texans offense. It shouldn't. Unless the Texans are, reading the press clippings coming out of the Miami game. Yeah, Mahomes is better than Tua, way better, okay? But the wide receiver talent is a lot less, even though they're speedy and they've made some success. The wide receiver talent's less. You got to worry about Travis Kelce in the middle of the field, but Jonnu, you had to worry about him, and he didn't dominate the Texans. He had some really nice plays, but he didn't blow them up like he has teams earlier this year, where he had like 12 catches and 100-something yards against the team earlier this year. So it's a tough task for the defense, but they've been up for the tough task. It's a tough task for the offense. How up for that task are they? They've got to be able to run the football better than last week. Like this new offensive line, they pass blocked okay. You could blame a sack on CJ. You could blame a sack on CJ holding the ball too long, and then you can blame one of the sacks on the referees letting Chop Robinson start too early. So that's 3 of the 4 sacks. Okay. But they could not run block last week. So they've got to run block better. Like the pass blocking, it wasn't Jaguars good, but it wasn't Jets bad, Colts bad, Green Bay bad. So they got to run block better than they did last week, or they're not going to have a shot in this matchup.
All right. So on the super chat. So that's the offense. Bobby Slowick fibbing a little bit, just a little Pinocchio from old Bobby Slowick. Just a little bit of Pinocchio.
Damn it, Bobby.
Titus Howard.
I wish I could do a Bobby Hill voice.
Titus, I don't know about that. Titus Howard, happy to be at guard.
That's fine. I don't want to try.
Titus Howard, happy to be at guard. Cody Stoots, defensive guy. So CDY is his name. No O in Cody. He's a defensive guy, not offense. Which means I don't know.
What do you know about defense, huh?
Oh,
Mr. Aziz sucks.
Never said that. That is a misrepresentation of
they're gonna miss Cashman.
No, I said it wasn't a 100% for sure upgrade. I was wrong about that though. Because it was. You just disrespected Blake Cashman's hard work, but that's fine.
I gave Blake Cashman more credit than anybody.
That's a lie.
You were in the Grenard green room too. You were like, Grenard, woo!
I definitely won
Hunter,
that.
big upgrade.
I definitely won there. A1 DJ. This is bringing it in. Garrett Wilson, and this is from Rich Cimini. So this is not a how the hell you pronounce it? Is it Cimini, Camini, whatever? He's been around ESPN for a while. New York dude. He's saying that there's people in Garrett Wilson's camp that anticipate that he may be looking for a trade. Yes, please. Like if you're talking about trading, whatever. I don't know if it's going to be a first. I don't know if it's going to be a second and more.
It's at least a first.
Yeah, for Garrett Wilson, then yes, please. Because him and CJ already have chemistry. I feel like New York is kind of wearing him down a little bit, and he's from the state of Texas. He is from Austin, actually. You went to Ohio State, but he is from Austin, Texas. He is a Texas guy. He is very, very, very good friends with CJ Stroud. CJ Stroud actually mentioned him as the most talented football player, along with Derek Stingley, that he's ever seen. I think offensive weaponry is going to be a goal. 2 years remaining on his rookie contract. So no thank you on Stephon Diggs next year. If you can get Garrett Wilson, then yes, please. Thank you. And let's have a good time.
Would you trade your next 2 firsts for him?
Not 2. I don't think it would take 2. I think it might take a first and more, and then it might take
I think it takes 2 firsts.
I don't think it takes 2 ones. I don't think it takes 2. 2 firsts, no. But I think a first plus maybe. But yeah, but I would definitely entertain the possibility of giving up top end equity for Garrett Wilson. You put Garrett Wilson and Nico Collins in there, and then you can free Tank Dell up to be kind of a number 3. And hell, you can still try to find some offensive weaponry. That's it. But I would say no to 2 firsts, but I would be like a first plus. Yes, I would take it. Yes. Big fan of him.
All right. So it's not a 1-for-1 comparison, but let's see here. 2022, Tyreek Hill went for a first, a second, 2 fourths, and a 6th.
Okay. But Tyreek was better than Garrett Wilson. More productive for sure. He was one of the better receivers in the league.
Yeah, but you got to factor in the fact that he's cheap for the next couple of years too. Tyreek immediately was.
You don't have to give him a contract. That's
Tyreek
true.
was immediately paid as the highest paid wide receiver in football.
That's a good point.
Like you get 3 cheap years of Garrett Wilson because the contract extension doesn't kick in until after the 5th year option.
They would have a top 3 unquestioned wide receiver core in the league, and one that would probably be that for a few years at the bare minimum. And I think there's a chance that Garrett Wilson could even end up being more productive than Nico. And that's not a stab at Nico. I just think he's that good. He's that talented and that complete of a receiver. Unrealized potential.
I mean, Garrett Wilson's got 933 yards and 6 touchdowns with a guy that can't throw anymore.
And a guy who he hates being around. Let's just be honest.
Yeah. And he's going to come play with one of his best friends. I mean, come on.
Yeah. He's going to be revived, man. If he got to see that. So yes, that would be interesting. But yeah, maybe a first and a second next year. Number 1 and then number 2 next year.
What about
the Jets are going to be desperate too. That GM's going to want picks because they're getting a whole new GM. That GM's going to be pick thirsty, So there's that.
Man,
a 1 and a 2. Let's go 1 and a 2. 2 next year.
Ooh.
Who says no?
I think you probably got to go 1 and 2 the same year.
No, hell no.
You got to go 1. I don't know where you get these values for these receivers.
No. You just gave me the Tyreek Hill. It's similar-ish.
Yeah, Tyreek Hill was a first and a second in the same year.
Yeah, we'll push it back next year. We'll get it done.
Well, it's it would have been nice if you had an extra second.
Come on, man. You know they haven't made that joke in 6. I'm out of here on that. I'll go watch this bowl game. Anyways, always remember when it comes to this Texan stuff, we're all in it together. Sorry about Cody's lack of offensive knowledge.
Yeah, sorry, Landry doesn't know anything about D.
I'll take.
He could sleep good, be good. We'll talk Texans again soon, and check your facts.
Expert on D right there.